Hello gamers, this is Sai, and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now, how many gamers actually rescued the lost penguin?
Now that's just mean, and with that being said, let's get on with the video.
When it comes to famous plumbers, there's one that is known all over the world. With his blue dungarees, red cap and unique moustache, Mario's captured the hearts of gamers old and new through the ages. Originally debuting as Jumpman back in 1981 with the arcade classic Donkey Kong, Mario went on to become the official mascot for Nintendo, and eventually a vast amount of games will be made about the Italian plumber, as well as a few cartoon shows.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game.
Now, one popular game is the original Super Mario Bros. For the NES, which has been played by millions of gamers across the world and was even responsible for the creation of a certain blue hedgehog. Over time, Nintendo would try their hand at a variety of games that starred Mario, but there's one game that would become a bit of a legend in its own lifetime, showing how a 3D game should be made, as well as revolutionising the controls for a 3D character.
This would be Super Mario 64, that for some gamers is probably one of the best 3D games ever made. But before I carry on, let's go back to where it all started.
Development for Super Mario 64 began several years before its initial release. Nintendo legend Shigeru Miyamoto wanted to create a 3D Mario game utilising the Super FX chip from Star Fox and release it on the Super Nintendo, but decided to start developing a new Mario game for the upcoming Nintendo 64. This new console would have greater processing power and would be more than capable of creating a 3D Mario game that was up to Shigeru Miyamoto's standard.
A year was spent on designing the look of Super Mario 64, even going back to older games for visual inspiration.
The original plan was to have Super Mario 64 be an isometric type game very similar to Super Mario RPG, but this was dropped in favour of a more free-roaming design within the 3D world. Following this, it would be another 2 years where game developers worked extensively in creating a unique camera system, as well as the characters that would eventually become part of Super Mario 64. Shigeru Miyamoto wanted Mario to have freedom of movement, and a lot of the developers' time was used in fulfilling this quest. Even having Mario interact with the golden rabbit that eventually appeared in the final version of the game.
There was even going to be a split screen feature where gamers could control Luigi, but more on that later.
After many months and sleepless nights, Super Mario 64 was showcased to the world at Nintendo Space World, and had been developed alongside The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which for some gamers is one of the best Zelda games ever made. And come mid-1996, Super Mario 64 was released for gamers to enjoy the experience of a 3D Mario game.
And like always, let's go back to the past to see how Super Mario 64 was advertised.
Nintendo 64 as you play Super Mario 64. Submerge in a 3D environment with 15 worlds of beautiful graphics at 10 special areas, and of course, Mario. Move an incredible 360 degrees as you embark on Mario's greatest adventure to recover the stolen Power Stars and defeat his mortal enemy Bowser. Mario acquires special abilities by changing hats. Fly with the feathered hat. Use the invisible hat to vanish. And become invincible with the metal hat. Use these powers to combat giant 3D enemies as you see the action through Mario's eyes. 64 megs of power and battery backup let you experience Mario like never before. It's Super Mario 64.
The story of Super Mario 64 begins with Mario earning some much needed rest after his last run-in with Bowser. While relaxing, Mario receives a letter from Princess Peach, otherwise known as Princess Toadstool. In the perfume-scented letter, the princess is inviting Mario to the castle for a wonderfully delicious cake that she's baked for him. When Mario arrives at the castle, he's met by one of the Lakuta brothers, now working for the Kingdom News Network. The Lakuta brother welcomes him to the castle and is interested to see what Mario thinks of the cake waiting for him inside. There was a mention about missing Power Stars, but Mario's far too busy thinking of Princess Peach's scrumptious cake. Mario proceeds into the castle, and upon entering, is met with a familiar voice telling him to get out the castle. Toad informs Mario that Bowser's kidnapped the princess again and is holding everyone hostage within the castle walls. And also, Bowser has stolen the Power Stars and given them to his minions, who are now hiding inside the magical paintings found throughout the castle. Adjusting his hat and tightening his gloves, Mario is now on a mission to defeat Bowser and rescue the princess once again.
Gameplay has gamers controlling Mario as he makes his way through the castle, collecting the Power Stars.
There are 15 worlds found within Super Mario 64, and these can be accessed via large magical paintings.
Within each world there are 6 stars to be collected, and the clues of their whereabouts are usually given away at the beginning of each stage.
As more stars are collected, more areas that grant access to other worlds become available, but gamers will have to face up against Bowser several times before these other worlds can be explored. And with most Super Mario games, they're the infamous power-ups. However, in Super Mario 64, these power-ups consist of a wing cap that allows Mario to fly, a vanish cap that makes him partially immaterial, and the metal cap that makes Mario immune to damage, as well as being as heavy as a tank.
Although the metal cap would have come in handy against that piano.
Mario's moveset has evolved since his 2D days, with the ability of acrobatic moves combined with special jumps, including the triple jump and the wall jump ability, which some gamers I know have tried at least once.
All Mario needs now is a ninja outfit, but I'm sure his moustache and his festively plump stomach will give him away.
Not only will Mario have to travel through 15 worlds collecting coins and dealing with the enemies, he'll also be able to participate in racing, but of course, gamers wouldn't cheat, would they?
What, me? No, of course not. I'd never use that secret tunnel.
In part of the game, Mario come across a fountain with Ellis Rill 2401. And the rumour at the time was if Mario ran around the fountain 2,401 times, then Luigi would become playable.
I wonder. Oh, that was a complete lie.
Coming back to the story, now Mario has travelled through the many worlds found within the castle collecting the Power Stars. He finds himself in the final world, ready for the third and final confrontation with Bowser. Now standing in front of Bowser on a circular stage for the third time, Mario comes to the conclusion that the King of Koopas needs to be stopped for the sake of the Mushroom Kingdom and the princess. The pair begin to battle, with Bowser doing all he can to make Mario lose, but eventually Mario grabs Bowser's tail and throws him into the bomb found at the edge of the stage. With a blood-curdling cry, Bowser admits defeat at the hands of Mario, and manages to use his sorcery-like magic to escape, but this isn't the end of Bowser. Leaving a Power Star, Mario grabs this, dons the magical winged cap, and flies back home to the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario lands in front of the castle, and with the power of the stars, Princess Peach is freed from her prison, as well as Mario's friends. The princess gives Mario a kiss on the nose, and then decrees that cake must be baked in his honour. And being the lovable guy that he is, Mario follows Princess Peach into the castle to help bake his treat.
When released, Super Mario 64 was well praised by gamers and critics alike, even going on to be the Nintendo 64's best-selling game.
Even now, it's still regarded by some as the best 3D Mario game ever made. The freedom of movement that Mario showcased was something not seen before, and combining this with a camera that could be controlled independently, as well as some fantastic level design, is what made Super Mario 64 an instant hit with gamers. There were talks of a direct sequel for the upcoming Nintendo 64 disc drive, but due to the poor reception within Japan upon its release, Super Mario 64 2 was cancelled. Over time, other platformers would be inspired by Super Mario 64, including Conker's Bad Fur Day, but this game ended up being targeted towards a much mature audience. Eventually, Super Mario 64 saw a re-release on the Nintendo DS, with updated graphics, new game options, and extra playable characters, such as Yoshi, Wario, and Luigi.
Yeah, only 8 years later. I can't believe I wasted my time earlier.
This new version of Super Mario 64 was a release title for the Nintendo DS and sold extremely well, being praised by gamers and critics. It didn't, however, emulate the same success of the original and was only the 7th best-selling title for Nintendo's small box of handheld fun. There would have been plenty more Mario titles released for the GameCube and Nintendo Wii, but now gamers have the fantastic Super Mario Odyssey to play that has done its best to go back to the roots of Super Mario 64. Obviously, with the power of the Nintendo Switch, the game is aesthetically pleasing to see, loads of characters from Mario's world appearing, including one particular lady from his past. Overall, it's easy to see why Super Mario 64 is the best-selling game on the Nintendo 64. And if it never existed, would 3D platforming be the same like it is today? Now, I can't wait for Mario's next game, and to see where or when the Italian plumber will find himself.
Anyway, come back next time where Goku and his friends encounter many fighters from across the universe. But who is the mysterious god of destruction? And more importantly, what's a Super Saiyan god? Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.
We'll be right back.